Hello, OSMD families. My name is Miss Amanda, in case you don't know me. I wanted to go over some dance recital information in case you were not able to make it to Parent Week last week to go over all of that important info for the season ahead. Even if you did make it last week, if you didn't catch anything or you might need to hear something again, here we go. Hopefully my dog doesn't interrupt me. So Recital this year is on June 25th, okay? It is coming up. So you'll have to note that there's two times on here. There's two recitals, okay? Most kiddos are only going to be in one recital. If your kiddo's in a lot of classes, that's going to mean they're in more than one probably. But that schedule is in this packet and we will get there. Recital this year is at Westside High School, so that is different than in years past. So just keep that in mind as well. On here, it does say like check-in times and things like that. We will get to that later in the packet. It also says about an hour and a half for recital. That's from so say if they're in the 9 a.m. recital, an hour and a half from there, so that'd be about 10:30 or 11 when they're done. I would overestimate rather than underestimate, just letting you know. So let's get into the details here. So in this packet, first thing we have is recital season schedule at a glance. So you know too, I know you don't have to try and read this, I'm just so you can follow along, but there are extra packets at the studio, so if you need one of these, feel free to pop in and grab one from the front desk. Recital season at a glance. So costume measurement weeks, that's already happened. We've already ordered everything and taken care of it. Costumes are arriving. Recital parent information week, that is what last week was, or this video is if you're needing to catch up. Then I'm going to jump to mandatory opener and finale rehearsals because that's the next event on the docket. So opener is for all preschool and kindergarten age classes. So if they're in level 1, 2, 3, that is not part of the opener and they're not in that piece. So opener, all preschool and kindergartners, no matter what class you're in, whether it's ballet, combo, tumbling, if it is kinder or preschool, that is the song they are in. So opening number, we have a rehearsal on Friday, June 3rd from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. That is going to be at the studio, and that's just so they can get acclimated to dancing with all of the other classes, because that's the big opening number that all those kids are in. It's a lot of people that they haven't danced with before, so that'll help us get used to that. Usually those rehearsals are outside right in front of OSMD, so you're welcome to bring a lawn chair and just hang out and watch. If you want to peace out, make sure if your kiddo is 3 or 4 and might need help going to the bathroom or something that you stay. But that is going to be on a Friday night, 6:30 to 7:30, and that is at OSMD Friday, June 3rd. Okay. And then finale, same kind of a deal, but this is for level 1 and up. So if you're not in preschool or kinder, level 1, 2, 3, 4, or in adult classes, or in a private lesson, or what have you, you're going to be in the finale. Okay, and that rehearsal is May 13th, Friday the 13th. An excellent day for dancing. We will again be outside in the parking lot at OSMD. There's just so many people in that we can't quite fit in the studio space. Should it rain or anything, we'll have a contingency plan for you, so don't worry. We've been lucky in the past, knock on wood. So that will again be a 6:30 to 7:30, so that's a Friday evening, and at OSMD, okay? Next thing on the docket is in-class dress rehearsal, okay? So the first week of June, it's actually from the 4th to the 10th, so I believe that is from Saturday to Friday, not Monday to Saturday, because that next Saturday is picture day, so they wouldn't be able to participate in that. So June 4th is a Saturday all the way up until the 10th, which is a Friday. They will wear their costume to class that week. That's just to help us get 40 minutes in that costume to get used to how lovely we look in our costume. It just helps us get used to it, so that way when we're on stage, we're not distracted by its texture or how lovely we look, or if it's a really flowy dress or that kind of a thing. So that's really helpful for class that week. They will be totally in costume. And then I'll jump back to picture day. Now I'm going in chronological order here. Picture day is on June 11th, okay, and that's a Saturday, from 8:30 to 3 p.m. We'll get to that schedule later in the packet. They will not need to be there all day. It's about 5 to 10 minutes of your day. Longer if you have a lot of classes, obviously, but if you have one, it really shouldn't take any more than about 5 minutes. So we'll get there when we get there. Mandatory dress rehearsal, that is going to be on Thursday, June 23rd. This does seep into daytime. So if I imagine a lot of you work daytime hours, some people have to be there at about noon. So that is something to plan ahead for if you can get grandma to bring them, if you might need to have the afternoon off, whatever that means. Dress rehearsal does take about 8 hours for us, so there's just no way to cram it in all after the workday, or we would all be there until midnight or 1 a.m. So we do have to start early just to make sure we get everyone some time on stage. And then last thing on here is the dance recital, Saturday, June 25th, either at 9 a.m. or noon. Call time is an hour before that. So whatever recital they're in, if they're in the 9 a.m. recital, then they need to be there at 8 a.m. That's the dancer, and you will drop them off backstage. So parents aren't going to be backstage. We have volunteers, we have teachers, we have staff back there. Parents aren't going to be backstage, so you drop your kiddo off, and you will go out so you can be an audience member, and then they will have to stay the entire performance. So after their song, you can't just walk back there and pick them up. Everybody's involved at the end of the show. We reveal next year's recital theme. It's a really exciting event, but just know that there won't be a pickup mid-recital. They will stay through the entirety of the recital. Next page here is just some information about costumes, all of that. Let's start with costumes and shoes. We provide everything you need for recital aside from dance shoes. So dance shoes is your responsibility. I imagine most of you have dance shoes already. If you have a question about what dance shoes your kiddo needs for class, please touch base with your specific dance teacher, and they will be able to tell you that. Bobby's does have Bobby's Dancewear, if you don't know. Our local dance supply store has our shoe information on file. So if you don't know or you can't remember, you can just tell them that you go to the Omaha School of Music and Dance, and they have a page that has all of our shoe requirements on there, and that should help you as well. So shoes is the only thing we don't provide. You will get costume from us, tights if you're not wearing pants, as well as like a bun holder for your hair, as well as just like a little bit of makeup in there as well. Makeup, totally optional. You wear what you want. You want to pop on a whole bunch of it, that's fine. You don't want to wear any at all, that's fine too. Hair, though, is going to maybe be specific to class. You can assume it's going to be that high bun unless otherwise stated. So I have told some of my classes that we will be different as far as a ponytail or a low bun for acro classes or something. So touch base with your teacher as we get closer. That's not probably something that some teachers have thought about at this point, but definitely stay touching base with your teacher about what those hair requirements are going to be. It might look different for specific routines, just in case they're doing headstands or doing fish flops, or they have a hat or something like that. So you will get costumes not until about mid-May. So we have to wait until everyone's costume gets here before we can send anything home. So that way we don't have to wonder, I sent home like half of Hip Hop 1, but the rest of my classes don't have theirs, so I don't want to wonder who has costumes. So you won't get those until about May. But should you need tailoring, there's a recommendation on here for Kai's Tailor, or what have you, just in case. Class attendance. This is a super important one to talk about right now. April 1st is just around the corner. Holy cannolis. That is on Friday. Starting in April all the way to June, we require that you have to be in class as much as possible. This is true all year, but should you miss 4 classes or more, we could ask that you not be in recital. That is an entire month of class, and that is so much to miss for their team. Their team is relying on them to be there, and we can't review everything the next week that we learned the last week solely because your student keeps missing. So please, please, please try to be there. We totally understand that vacations happen, sicknesses happen, and that's totally fine. Try to communicate that as best as possible. Let your dance teacher know, hey, we're not going to be here next week. We're going to Disney World. Or call the front desk if your kiddo is sick, and that way they'll also communicate that with us, just so we know that these are planned and understandable absences and not just missing class all the time. So please, please, please try to be in class. They are going to be missing out on choreo, and their classmates might not have a partner or something like that. It is very, very important that they are there as much as possible throughout the whole year, but especially during recital season. So please keep that in mind. That information is in the contract that you sign when you start with us about the absences policy. Opening rehearsal and finale rehearsal. So we kind of already talked about these with the schedule at a glance. Keep in mind, their age is what determines what number they're in. No one is in both. Not one person is in both of these. So the opener is for preschool kindergarten. Finale is for level 1, 2, 3, 4, and adult classes, okay? And that's just their rehearsal time. That is just going to be in dance class attire, so be in something you can move in. Probably sneakers, though, because we'll be outside. If you're a tap dancer, you'll need to bring your tap shoes so we can practice inside real quick. But when we all rehearse outside, we need to be in outside shoes. Your dance shoes should not be worn outside ever, okay? So make sure we are prepared for that. We will remind you about that stuff as we get closer, all right? All right, the next thing in here is about picture day. So picture day, I'm holding up the schedule, but some information about picture day. Picture day, we actually do composite photos. So there's no actual group photo. Everyone takes their individual photo and then the group photo. This group photo is going to be like photoshopped together. So all the ones in our back hallway, all of those dance pictures, none of those were actually taken together. They were all taken and then digitally put together. So they do look really, really great. We are going to ask that even if for some reason you don't intend to buy pictures, that you come and you take photos so they're part of the team photo. So please, please be there that day. I will get to the schedule, I promise, in one moment. Make sure you are full recital ready. You got your tights on, you got your dance shoes, your hair is done, makeup's done if you want it to be. So full recital ready. No crazy jewelry, no hair ties on your wrists, no watches, none of that. Make sure you bring your dance shoes. I know sometimes that seems weird of a reminder, but if we're not dancing, sometimes we don't think about our dance shoes. But if you're in a dance picture, you should be in dance shoes. So make sure you bring those. But no glitter. No glitter. No hair glitter, no eye glitter, no makeup glitter. Otherwise, there's a glare in the camera, okay? So we want to make sure our photographer doesn't have to deal with that, and that we have no glitter. For picture day, everything is alphabetical. So it's by your child's last name. In case you have a different last name than them, it is your child's last name. So if their last name starts with F, right in the middle here, it's 9:20 a.m. So all people with the last name starting with the letter F are from 9:20 to 9:30. So you'll come on in. Pictures should be super quick. You're going to be already dressed and ready. So don't plan on getting dressed and stuff when you're here. You want to be ready to roll. If you want to touch up your lipstick or something, that's totally fine. But you should be dressed and ready to roll. You'll come on back to dance room 1. That's my classroom all the way in the back. And we'll get pictures taken and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Super fast and easy. If they have more than one costume, it doesn't matter which one they start with. They can be coming into one, and then we have changing tents in room 2 where you can go to the bathroom, change, and then come right back in. You can just do all of them in a row. However many outfits you have, that's how many pictures you'll take, all right? Making sure you're in every group picture that is a class that you're in, all right? So that's picture day in a nutshell. If for some reason you can't be there for picture day, if you're out of town or anything like that, please let myself or your teacher know, and we can get you on a list to talk about picture makeup. You're able to go into their studio and still take pictures, so you're still part of group pictures and all of that, all right? So make sure you let your teacher know so that way we can get your name on that list. Again, that is June 11th. It's a Saturday, all right? Let us know if you have time conflicts as well, and we'll get that taken care of. Last things on picture day. I think that's actually it. So that is taken. We'll take care of that as we get closer, and we'll talk more and more about that. You'll hear about picture day. All right? Pictures. Next thing is dress rehearsal. So the first thing on this schedule is just about that in-class dress rehearsal. For dress rehearsals, the most important thing is A, your attendance. B, don't wear your performance tights. I've seen too many pairs of tights get ripped. Please feel free to wear like your own personal tights that aren't the ones for performance, or just no tights, whatever works for dress rehearsal. But I just don't want to see those ripped. We do have extras, but I don't have 300 extras to give to every single dancer. So we have some extras, but like be prepared. Wear your own tights on those dress rehearsal days, so that way you're ready to go, but not worried about ripping anything. Tights are fragile. So that's for both dress rehearsals, our in-class and our big deal dress rehearsal, okay? Tights are only going to be worn on picture day and on recital day itself. Other than that, no more tights. So that in-class dress rehearsal, you're just going to come in full costume. You want your hair done as well for dress rehearsals. Okay, it's not just about popping on that tutu and feeling pretty. You got to have every part of you done. You don't want to get your hair done for recital day and then you're doing turns and your hair falls out and you realize that hair isn't working or the way you set it up isn't working. You want to learn that at dress rehearsal, both in class and on stage. So make sure your hair is done for both of those days. If that's a top bun, great. Make sure it's done. So that way you know when you're doing your fouettes or something that your hair comes out, or when you're doing a fish flop, it's a little too in the way, so it needs to be lower down, something like that. So you need to be aware of what that hair needs to be. That is very important. It's not just so you look pretty, it's so that you understand while you're dancing what that's going to feel like in every way, all the ways, okay? Makeup too. If you plan on, for some reason, wearing fake eyelashes or something, then you need to be doing that at dress rehearsal. That is by no means a requirement, but please make sure whatever you intend to do for recital is what you're doing at dress rehearsal. So that way there's no surprises the day of where your eyelashes are actually in your way and they're really bothering your vision. Or you're wearing glitter and it's falling off of your face, or you're distracted because it's itchy. So we want to make sure we do everything the same all 3 times. Dress rehearsal in class, dress rehearsal at Westside, performance day. They should all be the exact same look aside from your tights. All right? The dress rehearsal at Westside. All right? So here's how we navigate this. The page after this tells us which recital your kiddo is in. Okay, so these are the recital day schedules. That's on the next page. So that way you know what recital they're in. If for some reason you have to find out what their song is. So your teacher can probably tell you if you don't know what their song is, just in case they're in Ballet 1. There's multiple Ballet 1 classes, just to make sure you know which recital your kiddo's in. So find that recital. There's the 9 a.m. and the noon, okay? Because they need to know if they're in recital 1, 9 a.m., or recital 2, and that one is at noon, okay? So if you're in recital number 1 and you're a preschool kinder student, you have to be there for opening number recital number 1. If you're in recital number 2 and you're a preschool or kindergarten student, you need to be there for opening number recital number 2. If you are in recital number 1 and you are level 1 and up, you need to be there for finale recital number 1. These are the ones in blue, okay? Next page, if you're in recital number 2 and you're in a level 1 and up, you need to be in finale recital number 2. All right, those are going to be your call times. There's only 4 options for what time you should be arriving, either noon, 1, 3, or 6, okay? And if you need help navigating that, if that was like poorly explained or you didn't quite follow, please again touch base with your teacher before or after class in those couple minutes we have in between lessons. So they have to be there for those big group numbers, and then they also have their class number. Okay, so that's what all these other songs are in between. So that one has their class, so like tap 4, the song name, and then the time they should be there. Okay, so that one, let's find a random example. So if I'm in Lyrical 3 and my song is Airplane, that means 4:55 is my rehearsal time. That's for your class though. So that means they are also, though, in recital number 1. So they have to be there at 3 for finale, and then 4:55 for their class, okay? You need to be there early, just like 5 or 10 minutes, because the time on here is the time we start dancing, not the time you should walk into the building, okay? They should be stretched, coat off, shoes on, ready to walk on stage at 4:55. They will only get about 5 to 10 minutes on stage, 10 minutes if you're preschool or kinder, 5 minutes if you're level 1 and up, all right? We have so many classes, which we're so excited about, but that means our schedule is going to be really tight. So make sure you're there 10 minutes early, you're ready to roll, so that way when your time comes on the schedule, you are ready to just walk right on stage and dance, okay? If you have a long time in between your finale and your class number, you're welcome to leave and come back. You're welcome to bring dinner and watch all the other kids dance, whatever works for you. If you have a while in between, please make sure you are behaving yourselves, okay? All of these other kiddos have rehearsal time on stage, so we want to make sure we're respectful to them. So if you're an older kiddo and your parents kind of dropping you off for a few hours, please make sure we are not running around or being crazy, or we're going to have to call your parents to have them take you home, okay? So please, please, please come prepared with either things to do or ready to just wait your turn or watch the groups. I'm so excited for everybody to see all the other classes perform, okay? So that's kind of dress rehearsal in a nutshell, super long schedule. So figure out when you personally need to be there. In case you're having trouble finding your class, this is color-coded by teacher. So blue is those big group numbers. Orange is for myself, Miss Amanda. Green is for Miss Natalie. It's supposed to be purple, but it looks kind of brown for Miss Portia. And then Miss Arissa's classes are a little scattered in there. She has, where am I looking? That adult advanced ballet, like in that light yellow. And then tap 1, I think, is still probably in green. Okay, so Arissa's are a little scattered. But those are color-coded in case you're wondering if you have the right one. So you know, for dress rehearsal, there are breaks in this schedule, not solely just so I can catch my breath, but mostly because I do worry that we'll run behind. So I just want you to know that in advance, because each group could only have 5 minutes on stage. I worry that we'll run a little bit behind, so try and have your patient pants on that day. We're going to do the very best we can for you. Last year, we only had about 35 to 40 songs in recital, and this year we have almost 60. So we're so excited about that growth, but just make sure we're prepared that day. We're going to do the very best we can to stay on schedule, but those breaks are in there solely so we can catch up if we need to. Like I mentioned before, the last section in here is going to be that recital day of schedule. So this is like program order, what recital they'll be in. Okay, so there's the opening number and then some classes, parents and pirouettes. It's whatever recital you're in. You don't need to be at both. More classes, and then the finale number. And after that, there's special teacher performance, release of our theme for next year's recital. Get excited to find out what that is. Same for the noon performance. Okay, so check that out on here. Last things in the packet is where to buy tickets. Okay, you got some time to do that, but you will have to have tickets for recital to come watch. And then last but not least, our candy and flower bouquet orders if you want to do that as well, okay? So this is that monster recital information week packet. All of this information is super important. We don't want you getting to picture day without your costume or not realizing that dress rehearsal was actually at West Side. So please know this information. It is all super important. If you have questions about it, please touch base with any of us dance teachers. We should be able to help you out. Other than that, happy recital season. I can't wait. I hope you're so excited to see all of your kiddos' hard work pay off.